Hello everyone, welcome to the next session on SAP UI5 and Fiori training. In the last episode in SAP UI5, we started with the introduction of creating our Fiori application by adding views to it. In today's session, we will go ahead and discuss about how to create the most powerful control in SAP UI5 called list control. Before we move on, let's quickly add some model as well as the base controller as we have learned in the past classes. We will add a reusable base controller to the app and also a models.js file with the mock data. So without wasting further time, I will just quickly start, and I think this is already covered in the past class, so I will take it a little faster. So we'll add a base controller first of all. So I will go to the controllers folder and I will say add a base controller please. And as we all know, any JavaScript file in SAP UI5 starts with scaffolding template. Base controller is mainly used to write reusable functionality which other controllers can inherit. So we will be using here SAP UI define and any kind of reusability, comma function, curly braces. So that's your base controller. Let's go and do that. And also just quickly run your application so that just to make sure that at every step you have to recurringly do the testing. Every step do recurring testing so that you will know every small piece of change which you have made, has that affected your application or not. At times if you do changes all together and test at the end, you would never know which change has affected your application. So always do testing chunk by chunk and develop chunk by chunk. So one chunk you develop, you test it. Next chunk you develop, you test it, just to make sure that nothing is affected by your smallest change. Yeah, if you test everything together, it will become very cumbersome task at the end of the day. Yeah, so let's come back and I will just say SAP UI core MVC. Please mute your line, controller, and I'll say return. Return statement is very important. Yesterday we saw somebody missed return statement that cost a lot. Extend, and then the address of the base controller. It is Spiderman dot base controller. Sorry, dot controller dot base controller. And in here we will be putting all the functions which we want to be reused. Now it's time to plug this base controller everywhere. So let's go and put the parent as the base controller for everyone. It is Spiderman slash controller slash base controller. Similarly for view one, that's what we have done. So now let's execute the app. It should work as it is. Yes, it's working, which means our plugging of base controller has no issues. It's time to also add now as part of this project a new folder for model, and inside this model we will add a folder called mock data, and over here we will also add a file called models.js. This is all we have done in the last classes. I'm just repeating that quickly for you. sap.ui.define function, and now we will be adding dependencies over here, whatever dependencies we have on different models which we wish to. So let's add SAP UI model and JSON model, and let's add a function over here, return, and inside this create JSON model. say var o model equals to new, this dependency on the top, and load the data please from my models folder, mock data slash sample data.json. And I'll go back and create a sample data.json file over here in the mock data folder. And let's add quickly one property. I say something called fields, and I say title, and that's one field I've added to the JSON file right now. Okay, so I've added one field called fields, and inside that one field called title. You can of course add more fields if you wish to. That's your sample JSON. Now I will also leave something called fruits, and this is something which you guys will be filling later point of time. Okay, we will come to SAP UI5 OData services later point of time. It is still you are not mature enough to talk to OData service. We want to first learn SAP Fiori now. We remember the phases of the course. First phase was foundation. Second phase was SAP UI5 framework. Third phase we are into Fiori. Our main goal focus is right now Fiori. The last phase is the OData phase. So we are going phase by phase on the same track without giving a heavy dose of antibiotic so that you can learn properly in the right flow. When you complete the flow, you will know why I have gone to this flow in this manner. Save this up, sample data is ready, fields, title. That's the entity. There are two entities here, fruits entity and fields entity. Inside the fields entity, we have a title property. Let's come back now over here. So this is created, and now use these models and create this JSON model in one of the controller and set this model to the application level. As I give you the hint yesterday, setting the model to the application level now in Fiori doesn't work the way it worked in UI5. It needs to be set to the app level, app view level. So where are we creating app view object? We are creating the app view object in component.js. So here I will add a dependency now in the model, spiderman slash model slash models.js, and let's add here models as a dependency. And let's come down in the create content method. I will say, hey, could you please create me a brand new JSON model? Create JSON model. And this JSON model now I'm going to set at the view level, which is the app view level. Guys, to want to set it to the entire application level, set it at the app view level. This is different. This is not core level. This is that app view level. App view is the root view of your application. App view is the root view of your application. You got to set it at the root view level. If you want to set it at the application level, if you want your model at application level, okay, you want all the views and controller to access it. Okay, everyone wants to access it. Set model at app view level. So let's come here, and I will take this app view object, and I'll say dot set model, and I'll set this JSON model as a default model over here. This is very important line. Hope all of you understood. This is something different in SAP Fiori as compared to UI5 development. What we did earlier, we used to use SAP UI get core dot set model to set the model at the app level. Here is where we are doing at the view level, which is app view. This is your root view. This is the level you have to set it, guys. Very, 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 very important line. If you miss this out, you will clearly see problems coming up for you. Okay, that's a small change as compared to SAP UI get core. We are setting at the app view level. If you want all the other views to access it, now it's available readily as a default model. Go to your view. Exercise, guys, exercise. Yesterday I gave you exercise for search field, give some binding value property What is my address? Who will tell me 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 what is my address of JSON for title property? For title property, what is the address? Who will tell me? Who will tell me the title property address? Anyone who will tell me the title property address? What is the title? Perfect answer. Santosh has got it first. It is slash fields slash title. भूल गए क्या? Every curly braces needs to convert to a slash. Curly braces for binding and then slash fields slash title. Let's do the binding then. So slash fields slash title. It's a two-way binding and same property. Now I'm going and connecting to the view 2's title property. Where is view 2? Go to view 2 and to the view title property which was hard coded as screen 2. Let's connect the same. Are you guys clear? Are you guys clear? What am I doing? I have a global JSON model. It has an entity, it has a property. I'm binding the same property two places because it's a two-way model. If the property value is changed by the view, it reflects everywhere. That's a two-way binding magic, guys, for JSON model, and it's gonna share the data now between two views automatically. This was one question someone asked me in the past, Anubhav. If there are two views, how do we share the data? That this is today is my time. Today is the right time to share this information with you. Now I hope you guys are clear now, and let's experience this up. Let's refresh. I hope everything works. It doesn't, as usual, press F12 is your best friend. आप लोग F12 नहीं करते हो. Many people send me doubt but they don't do F12 before that. At least please try to understand what F12 is saying to you. You can see error failed to load Spider-Man model models.js.js. I have got it. You see .js two times. The reason being I have added the JS extension while adding my dependency in component JS, you see, which is incorrect. Every dependency is automatically JS. Why are you adding this JS unnecessarily? Every dependency is already JS. Save this up. Let's come back and refresh the page. I hope you got the idea. Console is your best friend. Voila, it works. Can you see on your UI? What should we do to test now our use case? Anyone? What is our use case? What shall we do to test it? What shall we do to test it? Our use case, we will put some value here. We will put some value in the search field, and I'll say magic happens here. And this is what I put, and I click on next button, and oops, it's not working. You see, ideally my title should have changed to magic happens here, right? So whatever value I'm entering here, that value should go and put inside here. So there's something wrong. What is the property which brings the search field value? Let me just go and check that. So what is the property which brings the search field value? So I'll go back to the view one. We have binded with the value property. Is this the correct property? Let me go and check in UI5 SDK. So let's go to UI5 SDK. So let's go to UI5 SDK and search for search field control. And now I come to search field controller API reference. Let me just search for search field control in API reference of SAP UI5 SDK. And there you go. I find it and I select this now. And let's go and after selecting, let's go and check the properties. There is indeed a value property, guys. There is a value property, input value. That's the value which is displayed in the search field. So how come it's not working? We have used the correct property slash fields slash title. We have binded it. It's the JSON. So maybe we have to debug now what is going wrong. Something is not right.
Hi, Anup.
Yes, please.
Uh, yeah, sorry for interruption. Can you go to that? You have defined one dependency right now, right?
Yes, in component JS we have added this dependency for model.
Yeah, so this is, yeah, it should be Spider-Man slash model slash mod data, right?
No, we never give mock data. If you see these models, this models is this guy, and in this you see model slash mock data slash
Okay.
sample JSON. So that's the JSON data. The JSON is the data, okay, and JavaScript is the dependency always. I think you forgot the previous class. Please go back and look at the video of model class again.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yes. And now let me just put some value sample and see when my app loads, is this value loading or not. If binding works properly, it's this is going to load the data. Sample data will be loaded. So let's refresh. See guys, sample also not loaded. So whatever sample I put here, that sample did not load. Is there something wrong? Let's check it out. The console, press F12. We are missing for sure something. Because of that, it's not working. Somewhere, somehow, maybe the model is not getting set. So maybe I'll debug this. I'll check what's the value of the model. SAP UI get core. Get model. What is the model at the app level? You see it's undefined, and I want to get the object of the view now. SAP UI get core dot get by id app view. So we've got the id app with that app object, and this has the get content. Its parent is your app view itself. This is your app view. Oops, I think I'm doing something wrong. And this has get model. Let's get the model object. See guys, model object is empty. Model object did not set properly to the view level. Something went wrong. Model did not set properly. Something is wrong with the setting of model. Let's come back to component.js, create content. Here we are creating the view object, and we created the model object. This is our JSON model. Let's debug this part. I put a debugger, and let's come back and refresh. I think I have not either loaded properly the data. Let me just check if the model is there. So this is our data. Let's debug this F10 F10. So this model got created. Let's see. Oops, see guys, create JSON model API. It's returning undefined. See, oh, JSON model is undefined. See, can you see that? It's undefined. This JSON model is going as an empty to the view. So our model itself did not create properly. Something is wrong. Create JSON model did not return your model object properly. Something is wrong inside create JSON model now. That's the culprit. So now we know who is the culprit. Let's go to that culprit. Create JSON model in the models.js. Create JSON model. Here it is. This is the guy who is the culprit. Something is wrong inside of this. Let's put a breakpoint over here. Let's press F12 once again and just refresh. It will now hit the breakpoint inside the create JSON model. There you go. And here you see this is a constructor. It's coming down, down, and you see O model. It has something. Okay, O model has something. And now the load data. See guys, I missed out the return statement. I missed out the return statement. I'm creating the model. I'm setting the data, loading the data in the model. But did I return this model? Did I return this model object to the caller? I did not return. Function should return something, right? Then only receiver will receive. If you will not give a gift to someone, how will the receiver will receive the gift? So you have not returned the model object here, right? We have to return that. Let's go back and return that model object. I got the culprit. Let's come back. It's very easy to fix it up. When you debug in the right flow, yeah, I don't need a debugger. I trust my code, and I come back and just refresh, and we should see sample is popping up on the UI, guys. That's a default data in my model. Automatically it's been populated on the UI, and see what the magic happens here. And let's click on go. Voila, there you go. On the second screen, all the data is popping up. That's the magic. That's how you share the data between two views. That's how you share the data between two controllers. JSON model works absolutely like your internal table in ABAP. Those who work with ABAP, you know concept of work area internal table. They are mainly used to share the data between multiple screens. You create them in the top include. Similarly here we are creating the model globally, and that model is sharing the data across the view. Hope that answer your question which you asked me in the past, Anubhav. How do we share the data between views? That day I didn't had two views, today I had two views, so I can demonstrate this example. So when the right time comes, all your questions will be answered, guys. When the right time comes, wait for the right time. Don't overload yourself with too many things. Everything will be covered in the course. Don't think I will leave anything. I will cover everything in the course. You will get more than what you get. You will get more than what you get. Remember that, very important, guys. Let's move on. So that's about my first exercise which I've given yesterday to you. Okay, okay. So now let's move on, and now we'll talk about the most powerful control in SAP UI5. This control is known as Fiori list control. What is a list control? What is it all about? So what is list control? There is not a single Fiori app till today which I've seen which it doesn't have this control. List control in SAP Fiori. What is it used for? What is the list control? A list control is a single column table. It is suitable to display multiple records of data. Okay, suitable to display multiple records of data. You can keep adding those records of data to this single column table. There are list items inside of a list control. So like we saw a table example, what was bringing the data inside a table? Anybody? What was bringing the data inside the table? SAP UI table control we saw. Rows aggregation. What was rows? Rows was an aggregation. Similarly, here we have items. We don't have columns here, so you don't have to add columns aggregation. We have only rows. We have only records here. Only single column table. So you will have multiple items. So items is of course going to be the items is going to be your aggregation, right? Okay, so let's move on and see how does it look. So we will be adding a list control like this. This is our list control. You can see this is our list control. In the list control, we have the header and we have items. Is this clear, guys? This is how a list control looks like. Is this clear? Yes or no? Is this clear? So now on the top, we have the heading of the table, and at the bottom, we have all the items of the table. Single column table, guys, it is. Okay, so this is your items aggregation, and this is your header content, header of the list. Now when you design a list control in SAP UI5, what is the control hierarchy for list control? So what we have is we have sap.m.list control class. This list control class has a parent class called sap.m.list base class. Okay, this is the parent class for the list base class. Now this list base class has an aggregation called items aggregation. This has an aggregation called items aggregation, which represents the items of the list class. And then, okay, just come down. And then we have on the right hand side, an items is going and connecting here. And this is connecting to sap.m.list item base class. Guys, don't confuse here. They are different names. I am sure many of you are get confused with these names. Try to understand there are different names here. This is what anybody with me, everyone type this in the chat window. Everyone, please type this in chat window. What is each type of list item looks like? What is the class name of each item? If you talk about one of the item of the list, what is the type of it? Please type this in the chat window. List item based class. Okay, it's a list item. Are you getting? It's a list item. It's an item. It's a list item. And what is this one? Who is the parent class of list class? Who is the parent class of list class? Who is the parent class? It's list base class. List base class. List base class. Remember, don't forget, list item, list base. List item, list base. Are you clear? What represents each item and what represents the whole list? This is the only thing which may confuse you in this topic. Rest all is halwa. Rest all is easy. Everything is easy from now. If you understood this, everything is so easy. Did you understand this part or not? Everyone, did you understand this part or not? What is the difference between list base and list item base? If you understood, everything is easy from here on. You will never find a problem in creating a list control in your entire life now. Okay, if you understood this. So let's look at now what are all the child classes of list item based class. So there are variety of list item types which SAP UI5 provides. Variety of them actually. So you can choose whichever you like based on your need. Okay, based on need to need basis, you can choose this. I'm gonna put some of them. So let me put some of them. So I'll just put them over here. So first comes is display list item. The second comes is standard list item. Third comes is object list item. Then comes is custom list item, input list item, feed list item. Then we have column list item, action list item. Okay, so based on different needs, again guys, my duty is to teach you everything. It's up to you to apply that knowledge where you want what. Okay, it's my duty. I can conveniently teach one of the list item and continue, but I am teaching you all the things so that you don't get confused later point of time when you see other type of list item in your life in a real time project. This is the reason I'm covering all of them here. Okay, it's my duty guys, try to understand, it's my duty to cover everything. It's up to you to choose which one you want in your life. Okay, I am showing you all the options, up to you to choose and decide which one you want. Any one of them you can choose and build your application. So let's go ahead and create our list control. Remember, it has a list based class, it's an item aggregation. So if I want to go to UFO SDK and show you the list item base class, you can see this is the list item base class, and you can see the aggregation in this is association. Sorry, where is that? Okay, there is no aggregation here for items. Where is it gone? So maybe I go to list class directly. Sorry, I am going to list item. I've done a wrong thing. I've gone to item actually. I should go to list base class. So you see, this is the list base class. A list base class has all the aggregation as items. Can you see the items? Guys, are you clear what brings the items inside a list control? Are you guys clear what brings the items inside a list? A single column table, what brings items of that table? It's like records of the table. Okay, are you guys clear? What is the type of class? How many point one, how many list items you can add inside a list? How many items you can add inside? Many, right? And what is the type of the class? What is the name of the class? What is the type of object which you can add inside this? What is the type? It's list item based class. Once again, list item based class. Who is what are all the child classes of list item based class? These are all the child classes of list item based class. Open any one of them. Let's say display list item. So I go to display list item. I go to display list item. Can you see who is the parent of it? List item base class. Can you see? List item base class is the parent of this playlist item. Similarly, for all these classes, list item base class is the parent. Are you guys clear how the relationship is between the list base, list item base, and these classes? So which means you can create object of any of these class, and you can assign the child class object to parent class and pump it inside the items of list. As a result of that, this item will appear over here inside the list control. That is the flow we will be taking. So I will now start creating object of variety of list item types, and then I will be adding inside our list control and show you how does each of the item looks like. Okay, and what is the purpose of each of the item. So let's go back, and I come back here. We'll go very slow, very slow, so that you can understand everything. Okay, I will be putting everything so slow, so slow. Let's come first put a list control here. So I will add a list control, and I will say id of this list control is id list. Some id I've given. Now, is it mandatory that we have to put child elements? Is it mandatory that we have to put aggregation? Is it mandatory that we have to put aggregation? No, guys. You remember aggregation definition? It's a loose coupling. It's a loose coupling. That's why aggregation, not composition. It's not composition, it's aggregation. It's a loose coupling. It's not mandatory to put everything. Let's come back and look at the output. Refresh. You will see no data. Do you see the list is coming up? No data. What was the tag we learned in HTML for list? What was the tag we learned in HTML for list? कौन बताएगा मुझे? कौन याद है? HTML किसे याद है? UL tag. Perfect answer. UL and OL. Inspect this element and see what SAP produce in the DOM. Do you see SAP is producing a UL tag behind the scene when an HTML is created? Because browser only understand HTML, my dear friends. Browser only and only understand HTML. This is the equivalent tag SAP has produced, equivalent HTML SAP has produced. Are you clear? Are you clear what's going on here? Are you clear? Actually, SAP UI5 framework is just a producer of HTML code, HTML CSS code, guys. That's what UI5 framework is doing. We talked about it also in the past. So I just created one item which is no data, because of course we didn't add list items right now. Let's add list items now. I come back and I'll put an item segregation. They're all part of SAP M library. So this is the reason I'm not putting any namespace before them, because my default namespace is SAP mobile. Yeah, that's my default namespace. And I'm going to come back and I'll say here display list item. And guys, beauty, many of you have asked me about code completion in past. Do control space. किसका डर है आपको? Do control space and press enter. पूरा code generate हो जाएगा. You see, guys, it has generated every single property of display list item and all the aggregation of display list item. Whatever you wish, you can choose it. That's a code completion feature in WebIDE. Gives you this feature, guys. Control space, press enter, it generates it for you automatically. I don't want all these things, and I also don't want all these things. I just want two properties, which is label and value. That much is sufficient for me to demonstrate this list item type, which is display list item. I'm going to remove rest all the properties, and I just use two properties, label and a value property of this guy. Clear, everyone? Is that clear to everybody? Display list item, your first type of list item. I'm showing you display list item. Kaisa dikhta hai? How does it look? Let's put here apple, and I'll put a value as antibiotic. An apple a day keeps doctor away, guys. It's the biggest antibiotic in the world. No antibiotic other than apple has been built till today. Humankind have built amazing medicines, but nobody could touch, ever come close to an antibiotic like apple, which is given by nature by default. This is the biggest antibiotic. If you have really some serious problem, you have a usual cough and cough problem, always have an apple a day, guys. I usually carry an apple in my tiffin box. Basically not in cut format. It usually is part of, directly I put my apple in my bag and carry to office, and every day in the afternoon, whenever I feel hungry, I eat an apple rather than having a coffee, tea, biscuits, which is bad for your health. Always eat apple. Carry your apple at your office and have it. And also I have a knife with me in my office, a small rampuri. I use that rampuri to cut the apple and eat it. Don't eat directly, because these days they put some chemicals and all this polishing. So use peel off and then eat it. Very good antibiotic. You'll never have these problems ever. So that's the first thing. Let's come back and refresh. And now you would see, boom, there you go. You can see apple is coming up. Oh wow, there you go. You can see an apple with antibiotic. That's the value. That's your first list item, zeroth list item, guys. Are you clear? Index starts with zero. This is your zeroth list item. What is the type of this light item? What is the type of this list item? Anyone who will tell me what is the type of this list item? आपके सामने लिखा हुआ है. What is the type of this list item? It's a display list item. Clear, everyone? So display list item mainly used only for display purpose. If you want to display simple data in like this format, label value format, you can use this. Second comes is standard list item. Standard list item, however, has also additional property like icon. If you want to display an icon, you can use standard list item. So it comes with an icon property also. Okay, so let me just add it here. So it comes with icon. So let's go and do that. So I come here with an standard list item now, and it has, you see, additional icon properties there for this guy. Additional icon properties there. Description, title, and icon. Let's see how does it look. So let's put another one, banana. So what is the benefit of banana? Who will tell me? What is the very biggest benefit of banana? It's a powerhouse. It's a powerhouse of potassium. It's a powerhouse of potassium. Those people who do regular gymming, you know the benefits of banana. During the gymming time, if you just eat banana, it's quickly appetizable, and then you get high value of potassium as part of your body, restores the energy, restores the lactic acid. When you do gymming, when you're sweating hard, you are losing lactic acid out of your body. It restores the lactic acid which was taken out of your body with the sweat. It will restore the lactic acid in your body. It's a powerhouse of potassium, quick energy. If you want, rather than taking artificial tablets, always try to get banana. It's very powerful. Let's bring an image here, isap icon, and I will just use a product icon here, maybe just to save that time, and I will just put that icon over here, and let's go back, refresh. The second type of list item, banana, on your screen. Voila, can you see? This is how the standard list item looks like. You might have seen these kind of list items in some standard Fury app where they show some icon, and top down they will show these values. Here it is left right, here it is top down. It's just a difference. My duty is to teach you all the list item. Up to you to decide which one you want in your project. Okay, which one you want in your project. My duty is to teach you everything. So what is the benefit of it? It comes with an icon, and it shows like top bottom way. It usually used to display again some kind of business data with an icon. This is how you can use the standard list item. Third one comes is my personal favorite, object list item. Why it is my favorite? Because SAP is known for what? Anyone? SAP is best known for what? What is functionally SAP is best known for? What is SAP best known for functionally? Anyone? What is SAP? Business objects, guys. SAP is known for its business objects, materials, sales order, purchase requisition, contract, billing contract, service request, you name it, it's everywhere in SAP. Business object. Object list item is mainly powerful to display any business object. Business object like sales order, purchase order, anything. For example, it gives you the properties like number unit with a description and title. Control space and press enter, generate all the code, and now you can choose which property you want. So title, number unit, intro, and icon, these are all the top 5 properties which identifies, which clarifies, which tells everything about a business object. That is the reason it's used most in the Fiori application, which are of master detail type. We'll discuss that in detail later, but understand it's used in most of the Fiori application because it is a representation of a business object, and business objects are everywhere in SAP, everywhere. Okay, everywhere. You sometimes also has business object status, whether the sales order is delivered or not delivered, sales order is blocked or approved, purchase order is approved or rejected. All these things are there as an aggregation. So you see there's an aggregation called status also inside. You can put that. So I put that aggregation, and that I can put some control, but let's put some value here. So let's put another fruit, pineapple. Anyone, what is the rate of pineapple? Anyone who goes to market every day to purchase pineapples? What is the rate in the India going on for pineapple? 120 rupees per piece. Okay. That's the current rate of pineapple. Somewhere around 120 to 150, you get a good pineapple per piece. And what is the health benefit of pineapple? Who will tell me? Ladies will tell easily. This is the health benefit. What is the health benefit of pineapple? It's good for your skin. If you want to glow like Shah Rukh Khan, eat a pineapple every day, guys. Very, very healthy for your skin. Your skin will glow like a star, guys. If you want to be healthy, with a healthy skin, a glowing skin, ever glowing skin, with a glow on your face, eat a pineapple every day. And let's put an icon as well. SAP hyphen icon. And this time I'll use a home icon maybe. And let's put a status inside. Right now, maybe I just put a object status control. So there's a control in SAP Fiori called object status. We're going to use that. And in this, we can put a text and state. And let's say state is error. Error means it's out of stock. Maybe I want to put out of stock. So I'll say my pineapple is out of stock. That's a text. And error means it comes in the red color. So when it will display this status, it will come in the red color, guys. So that's your first status aggregation of your object list item. Inside that, we put an object status control with the state as error, which means it will display in the red color. You can check the documentation of object status. If you're confused, let's come to the documentation, object status control, and you can go to the properties, and you can see there is a state property. Yeah, this is state property identifies the coloring of your state. Like, go inside the value state and you see there are different states. So one state is error, information, none, success, and warning. These are all different states you can choose for an object status control. All right, so I've used an error so that it comes in the red color will change to red. That's it. The state means coloring of the status. Let's come back and refresh, and voila, there you go. Good for healthy skin, pineapple and home icon, 120 rupees per piece. Perfect suit for business object, guys. And current status is out of stock. Is this clear? You might have seen this kind of items in standard Fiori apps, heavily used. SAP heavily use this type of item, object list item. This is why it's my personal favorite. An amazing type of list item, perfect suitable for business object, because SAP is renowned for its business objects, guys. All right, let's move to the next list item, that is called input list item. If you want to use input fields, you can use input list items. If you want to add a couple of input fields to your application, you have a content aggregation in which you can add n number of input fields you wish to. Okay, you have a content aggregation which you can use to display input list items. So all the input type of list items you can add. So maybe I just want to add a horizontal box, as we learned it also in the past, a horizontal box, and inside this I will put a label. I'll put a text. How many fruits you want, and then I'll just end it, and I will just add another input field here. So this is an input list item. You can add a label input like that. So it's an input field. So you can see this is how you can add. You can also add a drop down, select control, whatever you wish to. It's basically meant for input fields. Anytime you want to add an input field inside a list, input elements inside a list control, you can use this type of list item. Save this up. Let's come back, refresh, and downstairs you can see how many fruits do you want, and now you can enter I want 20 fruits, something of that sort you can enter. So it's an input list item, mainly use something you want to take input from the user in form of a list control. You can always use input list item. Moving to the next one, it's called feed list item. A feed list item, it's like Twitter. On Twitter you see those feeds, live feeds coming, right? So those live feeds, how are those live feeds coming in Twitter? So that's kind of a feed list item, mainly used for social media kind of application. If you want to build this feed list item, is very powerful. It brings you the features like, sender, text, info, timestamp, when it was posted, icon, all these properties you can use to display a feed list item. So let me use these properties and show you how does it look like. Let's say Donald Trump decided on H-1B visas. That's our favorite topic. So that's the hot talk in the town. So I will be just adding something over here. So maybe let's just put this guy over here, and I'm just going to end it. So now I can put here feed list item something. So maybe I just get an sender. So who is the sender? Maybe that news has come from router, thomasrouter.com. This is the, or sender is maybe, I would say here Donald Trump, and the text is decision on H1Bs visas, and information is H1B visas. Timestamp, maybe I can put a date. Right now I'm ignoring it, and I will put an icon over here. So let me get an icon. So you can also bring a picture from internet. Let me go to internet and search for Donald Trump, and I just go to the images, and I'll pick up one of the image, and maybe just pick this image, right click and say copy image address. Let's come back and put that over here in the icon. Yeah, that's what you got to do. So we had put that now in the icon, and let's bring that over here. Save this up and watch out, guys, how does it look like? So let me just come back to the application, make it maximize, refresh, and boom, there you go. You can see a photo of Donald Trump decision on H-1B visas, and then you can see here downstairs the same value. So this is how a feed list item looks like. Have you seen my machine learning video of a chatbot? Are you feeling alone? You want to talk to computer? You want a friend, a best friend with you? Please go and watch my machine learning video on HANA Access. I have built a machine learning algorithm for HANA Access. So let's go and search for that. So HANA Access chatbot. You can also download the source code of it and display to your manager and your colleagues and impress them. Chatbot HANA application, guys. I have built it a chatbot on HANA Access, native HANA application. This is something which you can use to demonstrate to your manager, to your colleagues, and mesmerize them. In this, what have I done? I've built an intelligent application which can understand what you are talking to, and it can respond to you. Okay, so it's a Fury application. I've used here this feed list item only. So you can see when the app starts, it says hello, my user ID, and then I say I go and talk to this application. Now this is my chat bot. So it's automatically going to respond to you when you're talking to it. It will understand what you're saying. I've used a IBM Watson library. So for you guys, I have already implemented hard coded JS. So now if you say hello and press enter, system will respond to it, and you can see system is responding to it. When I say hello, system says hey, And when you go back and say write something else, I say how are you, and I've not used Copilot. I've used IBM Watson machine learning library, and it says fine. Yeah, so it responds as fine. So for you guys to run it in your HANA system, I have removed the Watson integration. I've added the hard coded text in JavaScript to demonstrate, to give a feel like it's a machine learning to your manager. So this can run without any Watson integration, because Watson integration was difficult for you to achieve. So I've written a hard coded request response kind of a module in JavaScript, which can respond, understand, and return back you the hard coded text. So you can download the source code already available on my website in Anubhav Learning Series, put it in your HANA system and run it as a native HANA application. That's what you can do it, guys. And now this is a feed list item on the Fiori side I've used. So this is just creating, all those feeds. So now if I ask more questions to it, it's going to give me more answers. So I will just go and I will say, what is your name? So that's the question, and I say I am nameless. So this is how it responds to me. If you are feeling alone, you can always talk to my application. It will entertain you well. And you say, who created you? Anubhav Oberoi created me. So like this, it's an amazing application, really an amazing thing. Happy to meet you, and press enter and say, I am glad to hear that. Me too. Wow, awesome, guys. Real human like interface, real human like. This is called artificial intelligence. This is the future. This is machine learning coming forward in your life. So if you go to any website like Coursera, or you go to a website like travel.com or Expedia, you see there is a pop-up comes down there, and it says, hey, can I help you out? So do you think really there is a Shruti sitting, there is a Jessica sitting at on the other side? No, it's a chatbot. It's an intelligent machine which is responding to your queries automatically. So that's where the world is going, guys. Machine learning, artificial intelligence, chatbots. It's a world of bots. Everywhere you see, robots and bots are coming in the software industry, and they are changing the way we look at the softwares. All right, so that's a feed list item. This is how I've created, that application with using feed list item. And the next one comes is custom list item. If none of the list item suits your purpose, you can go with the custom list item. I've never used it, and never seen somebody using it, but it's my duty to teach you, so I'm covering that up here. In this, again, you have a content aggregation. You can put as many items as you wish as part of content of this custom list item. So any custom control if you wish to, and I say I want cash on delivery, so I want to put a label control, and I'll say cash on delivery, cash on delivery, and I'll just put a switch control inside this and just save this. So that's your custom list item. Why it is giving me an error? Because I didn't add in the switch control. Yes, and I save this, and let's come back, refresh, and you can see cash on delivery, and there is a nice switch here. You can switch it on. Suppose you're designing a customizing screen for Fiori, where you want to give customizing options, predefined customizing option. In front of that, you want to give a switch, whether to on and off that customizing. You can nicely build an application like this. You might have seen some mobile apps where they show a lot of switches, and you can switch on of your preferences, and it gets saved finally in your software. So something of that sort, if you wish to design, you can use this custom list item. It's up to you guys to choose. I am giving you all the flavors, all the choices. Up to you to decide which one you want to go with. Okay, the next one, let's go and check what is left. Display standard custom object input feed action list item. Let's go to action list item. So it's like a clickable list item which comes in a black color button. Everything will be created as a button automatically. So action list item, control space, press enter. You can see this is an action list item. So I would like to probably give just a label for this guy. So let's give that. So just give the text property, rest all is not required. Just going to remove that. And let's give here action list item text. I'll say order now. Save this. Let's come back, refresh, and you would see an order now button at the bottom. You can click, and of course there is an event which you can attach to, which can then sense this and trigger accordingly something. which you wish to. So these are all the different variety of list item. There is one list item I'm skipping right now. It's column list item, because that's what will be used to create SAP M table, which was also one question asked by you. What is the difference between SAP M table and SAP UI table, right guys? Some of you have asked me. When the right time comes, you get the right dose of antibiotic, and this is how we progress slowly and learn more things. Hope you enjoyed today's class. Before we move on, let me give an important exercise. This is very important exercise for all of you. You need to design, okay, exercise, very important exercise. Let's see who has that what do you say, curiousness, who has that passion to design such a JSON. So you need to design a JSON with the three entities. First is fruits, which is an array. I would put multiple. Second is suppliers. This is also an array. And third comes is finally fruits, suppliers, and cities. In the fruits array, you have to put the name of the fruit, the type of the fruit. The type of the fruit is citrus or alkaline, right? There are these two categories of fruit. What is orange comes under which category? Anyone? Orange comes under which category of fruit? Orange, mosambi, lemon, they all comes under citrus. Apple, banana, they all comes under alkaline, correct? So that's about the type of the fruit. And then you have to put color. Health benefit. So explore health benefits, guys, of the fruit. What are all the health benefit of each of the fruit? Now JavaScript naming convention, B must be capital. Okay, health benefit of each of the fruit you have to put, and put the picture URL. Okay, photo, you have to get on internet, search for photo, right click, copy image address, and put that also as part of the fruit. Name, type, color, and then price and currency, or I would say unit. Yeah, so these are all the properties you have to add. Minimum I am expecting 20 items you to create. Minimum 20 items I want you to create, not the least. You have to just create JSON, guys. Just creating a JSON. I want you to use your creativity and create a JSON. Okay, that's what I want. Suppliers, name of the supplier, since when, Bikaner wala, since 1992, right? Like that they write. So since when this supplier is existing in the world, what is the city from where this supplier comes, what is the main variety, what is the fruit it is supplying, okay, which is the fruit name it is supplying, fruit name. And this fruit name is again an array. Okay, it can, one supplier can supply multiple fruits, so it's an array, it can supply multiple fruits. Okay, so name, city, fruit name, and then maybe I'll say country, and that's it. These are all the supplier entity details you want, I want you to put. Then comes the cities, name of the city. So anyone, what is Nagpur famous for? Anybody? What is Nagpur famous for? Anyone? Anyone? Nagpur, oranges, very good. Now I'll ask a difficult one. What is Kashmir famous for? What is Kashmir famous for? Kashmir, apple, very good. This was easy. What is Savai Madhopur famous for? Anyone from Rajasthan? Savai Madhopur. What is Savai Madhopur famous for? It's famous for guava. Okay, it's famous for guava. My favorite fruit is cherry. I love cherries and strawberries. That's my favorite fruit. I eat almost every week, at least twice or thrice. It's very expensive, but I do love eating. Anyways, I love all the fruits. I live my life on fruits majority of the time, because that gives me the energy, that gives me the right health which is needed to get go long. Yeah, and always try to have lot of nuts, fruits, milk in your diet, and that's going to be a perfect diet for your life, guys. If you, what are you putting in your body? If you're putting junk in your body will produce junk. So first thing is your body, guys. If you are not healthy, if your body is not supporting you, forget about Fiori, forget about UI5, forget about your work, forget about job. Nothing works. So first prime importance is you yourself and your body. What are you feeding to your body? What you feed to your engine is what your engine will produce. If you are putting burger, pizza, pasta to your body, how will it produce? You will feel lazy. You will not feel energetic. You will not have that passion. You will not have the right mindset to learn things. So, first is what are you feeding to your body? Correct your diet. If you correct your diet, things will start moving. Things will start moving. Getting a lot of meditation, getting a lot of good exercise, getting a lot of good healthy food is very important for you to get going. 45 minutes of exercise every day and eat good, you will feel better. You will have that energy to do everything which you wish to do in your life. Very very important. So many people, they put junk all the time, a very irregular cycles of eating. Sometime you are eating lunch at 12, sometime at 1, sometime at 4 o'clock you are having brunches, you are eating drinking coffee like hell, coffee machine you become. How, what will happen? What will your mind produce in that case? Your mind will also produce junk in that case. So try to correct your diet, try to correct, at least give 45 minutes of your time to some exercise. Try to walk whenever you get a chance. Try to walk, try to use staircases when you're going to office, coming up and down. At least you can't climb on staircase, start doing other side. Whenever you're going downstairs, don't use lift, at least for downstairs. That's easy one, right? That's a easy one. Try to give good amount of food. Try to buy some nuts and dry fruits. We have a lot of dry fruits at our house. They are just going in junk. You're giving it to your servants. Why are you not taking them to your home? I have each dry fruit box with me. I made it small boxes, small tiffin boxes, and always keep it in my desk at my office. Because most of your time is spent on the office hours. That is the time you got to eat good. That is the time when you eat bad actually. So if you keep a lot of fruits and nuts and all these things in your office, in your desk, then whenever you feel hungry, rather than drinking those nonsense thing, you take little bit of these things. That is going to help you a lot. And that helped myself a lot, guys. My weight was about 98 kgs. At the age of 26, I was 98 kgs. And once upon a time, I've decided really to and somebody really said bad to me, and when somebody really said bad to me, I convert that energy to do good for myself. And this is what is important. Try to make friends who say bad to you, because a bad friend is good for you actually. If you really listen to the person who is complaining you and you work on that complaint, that's going to change your life. Fury also was one of that outcome, guys. Somebody really said something really bad to me. Tujhe aata hi kya hai? I still remember. Tujhe aata hi kya hai? What do you know? You don't know anything, man. Get lost. This is what somebody said to me. And today I have become a trainer in UI5 in Fury, because somebody said bad to me. It's important to get these bad things in life. Sometimes hearing those bad things about you, it's going to change you in a good way. Convert that energy, store that anger, convert that anger into the energy and do something and show the world. If you can start understanding that, if you give anger back to the person, nothing is going to change for you. Whenever somebody angry on you, take that anger in your heart, convert that anger to the energy and give it back in a way sabka muh band ho jayega apne aap. This is the outcome in my whole life. Any biggest change in my life which has happened is because of somebody else's anger, because I know how to convert anger into the passion, how to convert anger into the energy and doing good for myself. And today I am just 70. I'm just below 70 actually. Okay, at the age of 30 I'm just below 70. In last 4 year, actually, my weight reduction was in just 6 months. I've reduced about 20 kgs just by changing the diet and doing an exercise 2 times a day. I have changed it. Diet plays a very important role, and that is what gives me now more energy. I feel more energetic. I feel more energetic. I feel more confident. When your body is good, when your body shape is good, you feel more confident. You get this power of talking at front of 100 people. You can talk easily. वरना शर्ट से पेट बाहर आ रहा है, पैंट नीचे जा रहा है, whole body की लगी पड़ी है what, and then when you are talking, who will listen to you? You have to have that body language also. It plays an important role. All right, name city famous for. What is it famous for? You have to put the city. What is it famous for? State. And then you can put something good about the city, like alias name. Like Jaipur is called Pink City. Udaipur is called Lake of City of Lakes. Kashmir is called Heaven on Earth. So something called alias name, what you call that city for an alias name. So that is what you can put. Like Kota is called City of IITians. Kota is a city in Rajasthan which has produced most of the IITians till today. This is an amazing place. If you've been to Kota, just watch it for it. You'll have lots of IITians over there. All right, so that's all about the exercise. And now quickly moving to the doubts part. I have received two emails, one from Tanzim and one from Gautam. So let's move on to the Gautam. Gautam is facing an issue with element binding. I've already imported your project, Gautam. First of all, I'm going to correct the project structure. So you see everything is in the web app directory. It should come out. So cut that and put it over here. And this web app I'm deleting. And now let's execute this up. So he's facing some issue with element binding. Let's check it out. What's going wrong? So I'm going to run this project. Just run it in another session maybe, which will help me to analyze side by side. All right. So let's come and check. I select an item and it's bringing some data here, but it's not correct data. Something is wrong. Let's press F12. Let's see what's going on in console. As of now, no error. So far, so good. So something is wrong in element binding. We got to check that. Let's investigate. I will go back to the web IDE and I'll check it out here. What's going wrong? So something he might have done in the here itself. So now let's go and check. On click of rows, get the table, get the model. This is not the code which I taught you, Gautam. You got to do, Gautam, are you there in the class? Please unmute your line. We are not doing element binding. You're doing something else. It may suspect it to not work. Okay. It may not work, Gautam. It's you're not doing element binding. And I'm not sure why it is needed to do this over engineering over here. It's very straightforward. Just get the element and just bind it with the row. I think it's done here on select row. Yes, this is the correct one, right? So here is getting the values in the form and binding the, yes, this is correct one. This is what I expected. It's here in on row selected. He's doing it. So approach 2. What is it doing? It's doing element binding, but it's not working. All right, let's go and check the view then. In the view, how have you done the binding? Let's come to simple form. And here it's employee number, name, salary, and currency. This looks okay to me, this binding. And a simple form and bind element. Let's debug this. Why it's not working? Let's come back and press F12. I'm going to refresh. So on selection of an item, it should now display the data to the user. Select 500. It hits the debugger. And let's check it out. Row context. And its row context is this one. And the path is EMP tab 1. And now you have a slash EMP tab 1, which is getting set here. So it's 500. And let's see, 500 comes down. No, 400 is coming. The reason is, I think your model, you messed up with the models. You have two models here, and I think you are not using the named model here. You might have two models and you're not using the named model. Let me check. You see, you have a model 1 2 and you have a model 2. So which model data you're displaying in the table? 300 500 कहाँ पे कौन सा वाला है ये? 300 500. It is this one, I think. 300 500. Where have you used JSON model 2 file? JSON model 2 file is used in JSON model 2 file. Where it is used, JSON model 2 file is this one, and it's O model of 2, and you're setting this model with the name called model 2. This is the name with which you're setting this model. So when you're doing element binding, don't you think this model name should be used again? How will system know that which model are you connecting, right? So this model name, if it's a named model, you must use this, guys. It's a named model. So while doing binding, just also add this model name. Named model, very important. You missed out the named model concept. Now let's go and check. Come back, refresh, and see what happens. Let me just close this, and I will select 500. Nothing is happening. Something went wrong. Press F12. Let's go and debug again. So I just select 700 and I come down. So model of 2, bind element. So let me take this data and check it out if this data is coming for model 2. So I just get SAP UI get core dot get model, model of 2. So here we have the data, employee number, name, everything is proper. So at least the data is coming. You see the same data is selected, Priya 60,000 Indian rupees. That's the value. So it's at least giving me the right data over here at least. But that data is not reaching somehow to the form. So what's going wrong? Something is wrong in the form, and I think I got it, because for the properties also we have to now use the named model. See, these properties also belongs to the same model, right? Why are you not using this model name in the property binding? That's also important. So the whole simple form receives the model 2, but the property should also receive model 2, right? How will it know that which model it is to pick the data? So that was the correction again. I just refresh again, and voila, there you go, it works. So problem was named model. You have used more than one model, and there was named model, and now you see, when you use the right name of the model in the bindings, element binding and property binding, everything works smooth. I hope that answer your question, Gautam. If you are there in the class, if you are not there, anyways, I'm going to drop you an email mentioning the same as well. Moving to the next doubt from Tanzim Ahmed from Bangladesh. Let's come here, and I will just come. Where is your project, Tanzim? I've added it actually before the class. Yes, here is the Tanzim Ahmed project. So Tanzim, are you there in the class? Okay, he's also not there. Anyways, let's move on. He is facing an issue, that is component is not getting loaded. Let's run this. आओ देखते हैं कौन सी बड़ी चीज है. Press F12. First thing, guys, blindly press F12. Blindly press F12 की क्या प्रॉब्लम है? इसी there is an issue. Could not find tamzeed dot component. Yeah, blind clear. This console is your best friend. If console में कुछ है पक्का नहीं चलेगा. If there's something in console, it won't run. Something is wrong. We have to investigate further, but there is something in wrong in component could not load. So let's go and check from beginning. Component spelling, component, component, C should be capital. This is correct. Tamzeed, is this the namespace? Yes, he also missed out the return statement. Wow, guys, you guys are so fast, faster than me. Yes, this was also one thing which we discussed in the last class, which somebody is missed out and he has done the same mistake. And let's come. I think it will work. No, it's not. Let me check console. You see, O view is not a function. He has multiple issues, guys. He has multiple issues. Now that issue is gone. O view is not defined. So new SAP UI view item z dot view dot app, and is saying return here. And you see O view, he has put a parenthesis, not needed, guys. Extra parenthesis. Extra parenthesis. Save this up. Let's come back. Refresh the page. Voila. Woo! There you go. When you do things right, output will naturally come, guys. Output will naturally come. Okay, it will naturally come. You don't have to do anything. Just follow the concept right. Nobody can stop your output. I challenge, Nobody can stop your output, guys. Not even God can stop your output. Trust me. भगवान खुद धरती पे उतर के बोलेंगे कि मैं तेरा आउटपुट रोकूंगा, रोक नहीं पाएंगे वो. You yourself cannot stop your output, guys, if you do things right. But remember, you are still inside the tunnel. There is a light at the end of tunnel, but you have to keep walking, keep moving, keep moving. Don't lose hope. Don't lose hope that you will die. You are going to die. You are not going to die. Stay with me. Stay with me. I will show you the way, but you have to stay with me. You have to stay with me till the last 40th session. वो ही सीख पाएगा, उसी को लाइट दिखेगा जो लास्ट तक रुकेगा, जो लास्ट तक प्रैक्टिस करेगा. द पर्सन हु विल बी विद मी टिल द एंड will see the light. It's my promise. I will show you the light at the end of tunnel. You're still inside the tunnel. So if you want to see the light, keep moving, keep moving. Don't lose hope. I understand it's very tough. Initial days of UI 5 is so tough, so difficult. You will feel like, अरे यार ABAP ही अच्छा था. ABAP was good. अरे यार ABAP was good. This is so tough. This मुझसे नहीं होगा. Why it won't happen? You will only do it, guys. I was also an ABAPer. I was also an ABAPer and I was able to do it. You will be able to do it. Trust me. But it's just demand high practice. It demands a lot of effort. It demands a lot of scratching your hairs. No, whatever it happens, get going, guys. There is a light. There is a light. Time for next questions. Go ahead, guys, with your questions. Next question. Any questions before we close today's class? Anyone? No questions? Lines are open already for you for any questions if you have.
Anubhav,
Yes,
actually, I
please,
have one
Santosh.
question.
Yeah.
Uh, Actually, I'm trying to add two views in that one page, like sorry, in one app view. I could not able to add the view actually. Yesterday you said like we can add pages at design time, right?
Right. So let me show you
Uh,
that syntax. Let me show you that syntax. So maybe I go to the app here, and inside the app I can say pages, and inside that I can now add a view. Oops. I have to still check the syntax. We usually don't do design time adding of views like this. Okay, we never do that. However, I have to now check the syntax in UI5 SDK documentation. There must be some syntax to add a view. Let me check integrate a new view into another view. You can see MVC namespace, and then there's using JS view here, and we can use XML view and ID and view name. So let's use MVC namespace, XML view, ID, view name, and now I'm going to put this MVC namespace on the top. It's already there.
already there, right? Yeah.
Already there. And just ID magic. I'm gonna come and add my view one. What is the namespace? Spiderman dot view one. And I will just go back and remove this guy from there. There was a code which we have written to instantiate and add the view. So this all code I'm writing, just commenting it out, and let me execute our app. चल तो रहा है सर, सब कुछ तो चल रहा है, अब मस्त चल रहा है सर. मैंने तो कुछ
I
भी
was
नहीं
actually not knowing the syntax. I could not find it in Excel SDK. That was the
you
point.
don't know the bad side effect of this guy. This guy may be overwriting something or removing something or trying to add the same view multiple times. It give you a conflict with view ID. Maybe I don't know, but I just showed you. I just did it, just followed UI5 SDK, just followed it, and it gave me this. But navigation won't work because you don't have now second view added here. See, it won't work because now your parent does not who is my second children. Now your parent doesn't know. Yesterday we were adding both the children's, right? Now your parent here does not know is my second children. Yeah, that's a problem. So this is why not recommended. Bad programming. Let's come back to the old coda, save this up and make it work. It's a bad programming, guys. Putting a view at design time is a bad practice. Yeah, it's a bad practice. And now it works because you never push everything in a single screen. You should design, come out of SAPGUI mindset where you used to push tab strip, lot of controls inside a single screen, flooded the screen, and end user is weeping by looking at this screen. No user experience. Don't do that. You got to break down into pieces in multiple views. Over a period of time, your maturity will develop more. We're still just about 50-60% of our course. More examples will make your maturity more developed. With that, it's a wrap on today's class. See you tomorrow at the same time. Have a nice day and good